get to it then. Hello friends, hope you're keeping well. My name is Geraint Radford. I'm a nature photographer, macro specialist, and OM Systems ambassador. Now I'm here today to share with you a couple of my favorite tips for photographing fungi. Now the insect season draws to a close. A lot of us macro folks are going to be wondering, hey, what am I going to photograph now? And I'm going to say fungi is the answer. They're amazing. Now my favorite location to search for fungus and mushrooms are the forests. They capture the imagination and they're absolutely wonderful places just to spend time. Trying to photograph mushrooms in the forest can be a little bit tricky because they tend to grow in places that make compositions a little bit challenging. So I look for mushrooms that are growing in positions that are elevated above the floor level. That means we get beautiful subject to background separation, and it means that if we need to close the aperture down a little bit to gain a little depth of field, then that distance behind the subject is going to give us the ability to do that. So we spent a while looking and we found our subject, and now it's playtime. We get to experiment with a whole bunch of different compositions. So try exploring different angles too. So I would say shoot from above your subject, shoot from below, maybe try the rule of thirds, put your subject in the middle. They ain't going anywhere. So that gives us time to get creative. Experiment with lighting. Now this could be working with natural light, towards the end of the day or first thing in the morning, we get beautiful golden hour light that really brings the scene to life. We could work with LED lighting, and that allows us to take control of the angle of our lighting in different ways, and we could play around to get super creative. Side note, one of my favorite things to do with mushrooms is to light them from slightly above and make them glow like the little fairy houses. Look closely at the mushrooms, because sometimes you may find that there's a cool little creature living in there, like a spider or snail, or one of my favorites, the old springtail. So OMSYSTEM.Cameras has the best in-camera stability in the world, in my opinion. Ding. But I would say, don't be afraid to bring a tripod with you. It gives you a lot of flexibility. We can pre-compose, we can set the scene, and then we can wait for scenes to unfold in front of us. Also, it gives us the opportunity to explore really deep focus stacks and focus brackets in a way that we can't shoot handheld. So check out this picture. It's a spider living on a mushroom, and I backlit it with my phone, but I ended up shooting nearly 500 images just to get the entire scene sharp from front to back. And that was with a long exposure. I'm no He-Man. So use bad weather to your advantage. After it's been raining, the natural world is transformed. It's actually one of my favorite times to shoot. You may even see me actually out in the rain photographing. I mean, I got weather seal gear, nothing stops me. I love it. It gives you the opportunity to get raindrops on top of little mushrooms. And those pictures is just some of my favorites. It shows how delicate the world is. Not everyone's got access to woodland on a whim, but fear not, any outdoor space will work. And if you've got a garden, try exploring the hedges. So look at all the little leaves under the hedges, and you may well find a tiny little mushroom growing on there. Now those of you who are using the 90mm macro lens, don't be afraid to pop on a teleconverter. It's really fun. But I'd recommend working with a tripod for these kind of things because the magnifications are really, really high, and the depth of field is really, really shallow. So you're probably going to need to focus bracket, quite a lot of frames, but the results, I promise you, are really worth it. So I found this little mushroom in my garden, and it's covered in rain. So I put my 90mm, my ×2 teleconverter on there, and just look at it. It looks like a little water world lit up in a bubble. Explore a range of focal lengths. So when I'm out in the woods, I like to take my 30mm, my 60mm, and my 90mm macro lenses, because this gives me a range of options when it comes to photographing what's in front of me. But sometimes I might want to mix it up, and for that I use my 12-45, but I am really tempted actually to get the new 8-25 wide-angle lens. I think that would be really, really cool, especially for some of the larger subjects. Oh, midges, midges, uh-oh, uh-oh. I forgot my little mid-chat, so strictly speaking, it's my own fault because I knew they'd be here today. But for some reason, I expected mercy. So I like to use focus stacking two ways. So I like to think of focus stacking as a way of increasing our depth of field when we need it, but also as a way of limiting our depth of field when we need it. So closing down our apertures to something like f8 means that we get more of our subjective focus, but it can also bring the background into focus too, and that can be a little bit cluttery at sometimes. So what I like to do is shoot wide open at either f2.8 or f3.5, depending on which lens I'm using, and then shoot a number of frames, keep the differential close to each other, maybe 1 or 2, and then what that allows us to do is gain the depth of field across our subjects, but without bringing the background into focus as well. Good tip, that one. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you ever so much for watching. Now go have fun, and I'll see you soon.